Almost 30 years after political freedom was achieved, the country is still searching for agreement on how to change the structure of the economy, how to ensure that more people are included, and what needs to be done to achieve faster, efficient growth. And while the ANC government, in power for 28 years in June 2022, remains engaged in its internecine wars of power and succession, and while big capital retreats from investment just enough to remain profitable while hedging its bets on South Africa's future, ordinary South Africans stagger on, trying to remain afloat in an increasingly hostile economic environment in which living costs are shooting up and wages remain behind. The rise of a few well-connected and very wealthy billionaires and millionaires after 1994, all of them connected to the ANC, is testament to the opportunism of some individuals who very early on identified the rich seam of economic opportunity that freedom brought, and who believed that their alignment with the post-apartheid political elite could be a very profitable bargaining chip. It is also testament to big capital's solutions to the existential crisis it went through in the 1980s and 1990s. By the early 1990s, these conglomerates, Anglo, Rembrandt, Sanlam, Old Mutual, Liberty Life, Anglo-Val, controlled 86% of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange and had been producing rich profits for decades. They had to find a way to survive. But the ANC did not really believe in the free market, and it most certainly did not believe in apartheid capitalism. So the conundrums during the transition years were, for big capital, how to protect its interests while embracing the new regime, which historically had been antagonistic towards it, and, for the ANC and liberation movement, how to implement its stated policies in a rapidly changing global environment antagonistic towards its ideological foundation. The repercussions of the decisions made by big capital and the ANC to account for those challenges are still being felt today. Big capital is operating in a market-friendly global environment with capital flowing freely from hospitable to inhospitable climes to ensure the best returns for investors, while the ANC remains in government and in charge of policy and other governance levers, able to influence the shape of wealth accumulation and redistribution.